time is 8:21 p.m. on Sunday, April 9th. The NBA regular season has concluded, and we are here with Eli, Casey, and Lucas on the 18th episode of the Draw the Line podcast. I'm your host, Anton Lee. First things first, at the very beginning of the season, we talked about, we did a Bills draft, and we went around, we picked teams and tried to predict, who would have more wins, who would have more losses. And we kept track of the teams throughout the whole season. And I want to congratulate the first ever winner of the Bills Challenge of the Draw the Line podcast, Lucas Watkins, coming in with 482 Bills. Lucas was very wise and picked the Detroit Pistons in the 6th round, netted him 65 Bills, which is a big proportion of his win. Lucas, you want to talk quickly about how you feel as the first winner of the
speech?
I do. Yeah, so I really think that what's important with this Bills thing is that you can't be a hater. That's what won me this Bills, because
you picked Casey's Magic losses in the first round.
Just for those.
Okay, but that's not even a hater.
For those
opinion.
watching, I'm pulling up the counter
opinion
right here on the screen. So if you're watching at home, here is what we've been tracking. As you can see, we have our teams listed, whether there was their losses or their wins. And so Lucas in the middle in the green with a total of 482 Bills picked the Pistons here, 65. Go ahead and talk about your pick with the Magic. Why Magic first overall? Let's talk about that.
I really felt like the Magic were still at the bottom of their rebuild. The reason why the Pistons kind of fell in this draft was because they seemed like they were going to be on the come up side of their rebuild, drafting Cade Cunningham and then kind of having another year for their young guys to develop was going to make them supposedly better this year than last year. I really think that what happened was that the young guys aren't good. I think Cade is good. I think everyone else sucks. And so that was pretty lucky. But the Magic, I just didn't see any talent on the roster, unfortunately, Casey. I'm sorry.
Quickly, Casey, rebuttal about his comment about your no talented Magic.
First of all, I think the Magic ended last season on a great run. I really saw a lot of improvement from guys like Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony, and then this year bringing in number 1 pick Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, who I think was top 3 in Rookie of the Year voting last year. I think Vegas had their over/under wins at 26.5 preseason, smashing the over every time.
Now I think you're very right.
There. Over Vegas win total.
The over.
Parentheses. We still didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think you're right, Casey. That's true. I think that's why they weren't the best pick on this board. I thought, in this draft, I thought this was kind of clear. It was Spurs were probably the easy pick because they were the hardest tankers at the beginning of this year. And then I thought the Magic they really didn't have anything going for them. But hey, only 48 losses.
No.
That's pretty good.
Jokes aside, man, it's a good time to be a Magic fan. I think best of both worlds. You get the development from the younger players. Bronze in particular, when a lot of other young players, like Scotty Barnes this year, right, have not been making any progress at all. Franz is looking good. But you still get those high lottery odds. Still get to pray to Victor Wembanyama and see what happens. Because I think next year, maybe the year after, the Magic starts to get feisty with free agents and really come out of that rebuild.
I think the Magic are the most deserving of Wembanyama. I think they have a pretty good system going on. And I think that if you put him in that team, they actually could do something. Him on the Rockets just seems sad. And I think the Spurs, as much as I don't want him in the East, I don't know what he would do. But I feel like the Magic would be really interesting. We're going to talk quickly about Marvin Lee's picks. Marvin came in last place.
He was too ashamed to come on the pod.
About 439 Bills total, which is 40 fewer than my second place, 479. Marvin picked the Kings L's as his first overall pick. That was terrible. The Kings finished, second in the West or third in the West? Sorry, I'm not really up to date on the West standings. They're a total nightmare. And then he also picked the Pelicans wins with his second pick. Marvin, unfortunately, couldn't join us on the podcast, but do you guys have any comments on Marvin's...
Just deconstructing this man. Look, you can't be forced, you can be in a position where you don't draft the right team, but even if you are forced to pick a team, you get to pick their wins or losses. With Marvin, several of these teams, he just picked the wrong one. He didn't know if they were going to be above or below 500. picked the Knicks losses. He picked the Lakers losses. Picked the Raptors wins. Like these are all things where he had the ball in his court and he just fumbled.
Yeah, I think you can see the worst picks on the draft. And Anton, I'm not going to let you get away with this because the worst picks of this draft, it's actually not the Kings. I think relative to where he selected them, it's a terrible pick. But, like the average pick would be like a kind of a miss on this would be, 42, or 41. Sorry. If you get 41, that means that you could have picked wins or losses and it wouldn't have mattered. Someone's going to have to take that team. But if you get less than 41, it means that you just were completely wrong about the team. So, Anton, you had actually the worst selection, which is you picked the Trailblazers wins, which if you had picked the Trailblazers losses, you would have won this.
This is true, and here's why I picked Trailblazers wins. It was because at this time, I figured that people were sleeping on the Blazers. They had Jeremy Grant, new addition. Anthony Simons was coming off a good year. Dame was back. I thought that they were going to be and Dame had mentioned that he wanted to win a championship. He wasn't interested in a rebuild, and he has that loyalty to Portland or whatever.
Okay, I hate this. What is he? We expect he didn't want to win a championship? How many times do we have to reshuffle the entire roster around Dame before we realize that he's not actually ever going to be the best player on a championship team?
Oh, I don't know about that, Eli. I don't think that they've ever had... I'm not saying that he is good enough to be the best player on a championship team, but they've never had a team that is good enough to carry any player in the NBA. I don't think that he's ever had enough tools to be, it's Dame's fault. This team has never been that good.
I think Damian Lillard is like a Safeway version of Gatorade Powerade. It's not like it's as good as the Gatorade or Powerade, the good stuff, but it's all right. It's there. So Damian Lillard, he'll be there. He'll get you he'll get you to the 8th seed at worst when he's playing, but when they shut him down for the whole year, then of course you end up with 33 bills. So congratulations to Lucas on your win. Hopefully we'll do this next year and we'll have some different results. Try to find a way to incorporate some more people. But we're going to take a quick break and come back with our under 25 draft. Stay tuned. Well, and welcome back. We are doing our under 25 draft. Now I want to make it clear about what the rules are. Under 25 means that you can be 25 years old or under or younger. For example, actually, you know what? No examples. I don't want to leak any players. We've determined the draft order off camera. It's going to go Casey first.
We did it by fist fight.
We jousted. It was pretty epic. Casey goes first, then me, then Eli, and then Lucas. We're picking a 5-man rotation with a 6th man. And the context is it's going to be a playoff series. We talked a little bit about it being a regular season leading up to the playoffs, but we determined that there's just too much gray space, too much unknown with the injury history and so forth.
And the other important thing I should add is it's current. It's not about projecting. We know they're young players, but we're not projecting them forward. It's if they played right now.
Correct. Okay, so with the first overall pick of the 2023 under 25 draft, Casey Chang, you are on the board.
Yeah, with the first pick of this draft, could go with a lot of players here. I got to go with the most talented 19-year-old out there, Jason Tatum.
Wow.
He's only 19.
He's only 19, guys.
Yeah, only 19. A lot of potential. MVP candidate for the first half of the season.
Very good. Jason Tatum, any other reason for Jason Tatum? Oh, gosh.
I think he's one of the most talented shot creators in the league right now. I don't know. I honestly, if you extend this to under 30, all players in the NBA, I don't know how many players are really taking over JT right now.
Are you putting him at shooting guard or small forward?
He is my small forward.
Jason Tatum.
Shooting guard.
All right.
Does Anton know ball?
All right.
Hey, we'll find out. Your pick, my boy.
All right, so I'm at a bit of a crossroads. I feel like I know who Eli might take, which makes me want to take him now, just to mess with Eli's draft. But I think I'm just gonna go chalk here and just take Luka. I think Luka's the right pick here. Luka Doncic.
Luka is the right pick.
Now I want to just talk about Luka real quickly because over the trade deadline, Mavs made a move to get Kyrie Irving. And since they're 3-10, 3-9, and they've fallen from the 4th seed in the West or the 6th seed, something like that, all the way out of the play-in. and it doesn't even look like they're going to be able to get back into the plan. And even worse, Kyrie Irving might leave this offseason, and Mark Cuban is gathering the press around him, showing text between him and Jalen Brunson's dad saying, look, we didn't have a fair chance because Jalen Brunson's dad didn't want Jalen to sign here. We didn't have a fair chance. So I want to ask you guys, Luka Doncic, as a player, I feel like in the last few weeks, months, his perception has changed a little bit. Do you guys really think that you can build around Luka to win a championship?
Absolutely. First of all, Mark Cuban, I don't know why people think he's still a good owner. He's not a good owner. He hasn't done anything good over the last, 10 years, except draft Luka, which they did only because the Hawks made a terrible decision. If the Hawks hadn't been willing to make that terrible trade, then Mark Cuban would have nothing good on his resume. He didn't even draft Dirk. He came in and just traded Nash right after he got there. As for the Mavs, they still could have signed him. He would have accepted the max extension if they had the summer before, Jalen Brunson, which was 4 years, $60 million, and they still didn't give it to him. It's their fault that it waited for free agency, even if once it got there, then Jalen Brunson was upset. As for Luka, I just, maybe this shows that he doesn't have the ceiling people thought, perhaps, because if he really was that good, I think they could have been better. But I still think he's elite. I still think absolutely he's their second.
I really believe that the Mavericks role players are the worst basketball players on the planet. Like Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell, Tim Hardaway Jr. I feel like to have such a talented player, if you look at the metrics like Luka, and just consistently be terrible. How are these guys still in the league? And I feel like if you were to add Luka to a team that has a good amount of role players, right now, look at the Brooklyn Nets. If you take the Brooklyn Nets, who are basically a team of role players, and you added Luka onto that team, I think that that's a legit championship contender. So that's why I believe that the role players that are currently on the Mavericks must just be total garbage.
I'm going to step in and disagree with you guys here. I think Luka is a little crybaby. I don't think he'll ever be the best player on a championship winning team.
Yeah.
Casey, right now, would you trade Paolo and Franz for Luka, yes or no?
No, absolutely not.
He wouldn't do it.
No.
He wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't even trade Paolo. I wouldn't even trade Paolo for Luka straight up.
Wouldn't even do it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. The Magic are in the position they are for a reason. Lucas picked them first for a reason. But we'll talk about that later. Eli, you're on the clock with the third pick of the draft.
No injuries?
No injuries. I had a feeling.
Just one playoff series?
Yep.
Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth? Give me Zion Williamson.
Zion Williamson. Put him at the 4?
Putting him half the 4. Look, if it were the regular season, I would be so worried. But if he's healthy for one playoff series, he's the only guy left who's in that same tier as Luka and Tatum, where he actually can be the best player on a championship.
Now, this is a reason why I think it's a good decision why we said not regular season, because I would have been like, Eli, what if his shoe just explodes and then he's out for the whole year? Because I'll be honest, looking back at Zion's career, that moment against UNC where he just plants his foot and then his foot literally slides out of the shoe, it bursts out of the shoe, and he gets hurt. He's out for the rest of the regular season, and then he comes back for March Madness. Ever since that moment, there's been a concern in my head that Zion is actually a little bit more fragile, a little bit too heavy for his own weight. This season he gets hurt. What was he, pulled a hamstring or something like that? And now he hasn't come back since January, is it? I want to ask you guys really quickly, if you are the GM of the Pelicans, do you consider trading Zion Williamson? Is it time to start thinking about trading Zion? Because you sign him to a long-term deal and possibly put yourself in a Greg Oden kind of situation. Or, do you just sell high when you have the chance?
Here's the thing, though, is there is no, selling high. You're not going to get 100% value back. They don't want picks, right? They already have way too many picks to even be able to roster all the players from the AD and the Drew Holiday trade. So they need to exchange him for a player, and it was floated like Zion for KD maybe. Something like that's probably out the window now. The honest answer is that Zion at his peak is so good and was playing so well, was scoring like 30 points a game on like 60% shooting. That if you're David Griffin, the only way that you're winning anything is if Zion is healthy. So there's no point in like playing in the alternative that he's not healthy, because your only chance of winning is if he is healthy. So there's no point, in my opinion. You just gotta let it ride.
Fair enough. Okay, Lucas, fourth pick to you.
All right, I've got 2 picks here. Unfortunately, my 2 least favorite players are essentially these 2 next picks that should be going. I am going to leave one of them here. I am not going to select one of these players. And fuck, you know what I'm going to do? Because I have 2 picks, and because I can select them in whatever order I want, I'm going to start by selecting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, Shai. You know what? This is going to be too long.
He's my 2 guard.
Shai Gilgeous. That's right.
Just do
Okay,
SGA.
good SGA.
Okay, Shai Gilgeous. Yeah, SGA. Okay. And then now, with what everyone should remember as a second round draft pick, I'm going to take Ja Morant.
Fraud Morant.
Ja and SGA play together?
Yes, they can. I mean, SGA plays with the ball dominant point guard.
Who?
Giddey?
Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey like that high of a...
He's not a playmaker. He's not a scorer, but he has got the ball in his hands.
Will Ja Morant possibly influence SGA to say stay out for another couple hours at the club? Will he ask him, say, hey, maybe we should get another chicken wings in here. I'm feeling a little hungry. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm more worried about like if they do any one-on-ones, if like Ja Morant's just gonna like get his boys to just jump SGA if he starts talking too much shit.
Yeah, it's a valid point. Yeah. And so Lucas, you have a pretty interesting team going on here. SGA, I don't know. Something about that SGA. I think
Josh Giddey is a lot taller, and he plays the wing, and he doesn't play that many minutes per game with it.
He's a point guard.
He's not a point guard.
He is a point guard.
I'm going to look up on Basketball Reference right now. Do you think he's ever been a point guard?
Yes, he plays the point guard right now.
All right.
Pull it up.
Let's see.
Pull it up.
I watched the Warriors play the Thunder like 4 days ago.
I was at that game.
Oh.
And he wasn't playing point guard.
Oh.
He was playing point guard.
I was there. All right.
You should have told him to.
He is either a
wing,
small forward or a shooting guard, just as my eyes confirm from inside of the Chase Center, Mr. Watkins.
Incorrect.
Okay. So, Lucas, perhaps a bit of a blunder. We'll see. Eli, floor is yours.
I am going to take the opposite move from Lucas here and think more about fit than pure talent. Because with Zion Williamson, there is one player that is available that I need to pair with. Because if the Pelicans can acquire this type of player, pair with Zion, it's going to be crazy. And that player is Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren Jackson Jr., Triple J.
Someone a center, who can both block shots and shoot threes. There's only like 4 or 5 in the league. It's like Jaren,
Wendell Carter
Porzingis,
Jr.,
Brook Lopez. Yeah, he's more of like a dynamic weapon, Casey, but these guys are less versatile than Wendell Carter Jr. But JJJ like fills in Zion's holes.
Whoa! let's pause.
Hey, yo!
Complement each other very well.
Pause for 1 second.
They complement each other very well. Zion is going to be in the block on offense, pounding. Jaren Jackson Jr. Is going to be shooting threes. He puts up like 40% from 3, but also is the best rim protector in the NBA, perhaps. Top 3? Who is it? It's like him, Gobert, and like maybe Walker Kessler at this point. Anyway, these 2 guys go together great, and I'm really excited to have my front court of the future.
Well, I do like your phrasing there. So, good pick though. Jaren Jackson Jr., very solid guy. All right, so now it's coming to me, and I'm getting a little worried here. I'm getting a little worried because I'm looking at the board, and I think we have a bit of a defense problem with my team already. Luka Doncic, not the most nimble guy. He'll definitely talk to the refs though, so maybe he'll find out some fun facts about Scott Brooks or whatever. No, not Scott Brooks. Scott Foster. My apologies. You know what? This might ruin my draft, but I think I gotta pick a shooting guard here because there's one left. I think there's 2, but one is definitely worse than the other. I'm going to take Cade Cunningham here because Cade's nice. He's big.
Ooh.
He's big. I think I can pair him with Luka. Your reaction?
Again,
Your reaction?
why are you guys doing this? They play the exact same position.
No,
They
Cade
do
is
the exact
a
same
shooting
thing.
guard. Cade's a shooting guard.
But by that definition, then Luka is also a shooting guard.
No, but
They're both just big wings who handle the ball.
my thinking is that I watched enough Pistons games where the Cavs play the Pistons, and Cade Cunningham, his game is
You watch enough Pistons games.
it's 4 more than you guys watch. So hell, I mean,
this is a wellness check. Are you okay?
I
watching
am
the
doing well.
Pistons
I
in
am
your free
doing
time?
well. Listen, Cade Cunningham, his whole thing is that he gets to the hoop. He's big. He's long. I think if I'm looking at a player who just plays hard and he's long, I think I want him as the guy who's gonna bring that penetration to my team.
Okay.
So okay, moving on to Casey. Casey, floor is yours.
Okay, with my second pick, when you said shooting guard, I was afraid you were going to take this guy. I think he's a really explosive, dynamic scorer. He's Kermit. Give me Anthony Edwards.
See,
Good pick.
in my head, Anthony Edwards is a point guard, not Cade Cunningham.
What?
No, Anthony Edwards is a shooting
Yeah,
guard
he's a wing.
for sure.
He's more of a wing than.
Well,
Cade.
then the bag was fumbled for sure. That's cool. Let's take a look at the board very quickly before. Actually, Casey, quickly, do you have any thoughts on?
I think I said it all. He's a level below Juancho, but I'll take what I can get.
Okay, actually, you know what? I'm gonna take this time to really quickly talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves. Made a big move this offseason for Rudy Gobert. I think at the time, all of us were a little bit skeptical about the move in general. Didn't necessarily feel like, oh yeah, now the Timberwolves are gonna be a, real contender. After a season, after a Rudy Gobert punch to Kyle Anderson, after the video of Kyle Anderson ranting down the hallway after the altercation with Rudy Gobert got leaked by an employee of the Timberwolves, after a whole season of this chaos in Minnesota, do you guys actually believe the Timberwolves are in a better position they were in than last year? They gave up quite a bit. Anyone?
No.
I think that they're in essentially the same situation that they were last year. It would be nice to have had a draft pick like Walker Kessler on their team. So, I feel like if they had taken Kessler, I'm pretty that was the T-Wolf pick, right? That
they
had
traded Kessler
Yeah, if they had
for the
taken, if they had Kessler is essentially Rudy Gobert. Like let's be real. Like Kessler has more blocks than Rudy Gobert this year. So you have a guy who's going to continue to grow, and he's not on a shitty contract. I'd say that they're worse off. I think that as a team that they're built right now, they're about as good as they were last year. I'd say about exactly as good as they were last year, but their future is worse.
That's the thing, Lucas, is what's crazy. With just how good Walker Kessler is and how bad Gobert has been just this year. Just this year, there's an argument that they're bound as good as each other defense. Kessler is only going to get better. All right? Mm-hmm. And Kessler's on a rookie deal. Gobert is on a max contract for like $200 million. And they gave up like 4 other picks. Absolutely terrible.
Is this the worst trade in NBA history? And secondly, what do you do with the Timberwolves? Do you trade Cat or do you trade Gobert? What do you do? Because the two of them are not working together.
First of all, the worst trade in NBA history is when the Magic only got a second-round pick for Evan Fournier.
2 seconds.
He was, for many years, the lifeblood of that franchise. 2 seconds. All right, I retract my statement. Yes, this is the worst. This is the worst trade in NBA history. And second, I think you got to ride it out. There's really no way out of this because they don't have any more assets to attach to anyone. They kind of played like the last thing they could do with the Conley swap for D'Lo, which maybe shows that Cat isn't a priority anymore organizationally because I know D'Lo and Cat were friends. Their really only hope at this point is that Anthony Edwards turns into a superstar. Anything short of that, and they have nowhere to go.
Awesome. Let's take a quick break. This episode of the Drawline Podcast is brought to you by 4 Hymns. We here at the Drawline Podcast know a lot about erectile dysfunction, and we know that there are often very few outlets for men to discuss and to get help and treatment. That's why 4Hims is giving the Draw the Line podcast a deal, and you can use the code Draw the Line on any Hims order above $200 to get 0% off. Go ahead to 4hims.com to get your erectile dysfunction medicine today. Anyhow, we're coming back here to the under 25 draft. So far, Casey has Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum. I have Luka Doncic, Cade Cunningham. Eli has Zion and Jaren Jackson Jr. Lucas has Ja Morant and SGA. And just remember, everyone, this is a playoff series. Everyone's healthy. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, Casey, floor is yours for the first pick of the third round.
I think I kind of have a little bit of a hard pick here. It could be harder if you use the sponsor, but no, I mean, I think, honestly, I don't know too much about fit. This guy really does slot in at small forward often, but I'm going to put him at power forward. Give me Brandon Ingram.
Another Pelicans player. 2 Pelicans players on this board, impressively. Somehow Pelicans...
Here's my question, though, Casey. Is that too many, like, primary shot creators, not enough role players? Like, can Edwards, Tatum, and Ingram all play together?
Has anyone ever complained about having too many scorers?
Thinking. Brain blast, Jimmy Neutron. No, I can't think.
Too many scores? I mean, you complain about having bad defense, which Ingram and
you know what? Yeah.
Best defense
Maybe
is a good offense.
The Mavericks. Christian Wood.
All right, we'll see how the Kings do.
Oh, yes.
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Very nice. Okay.
Lucas was actually just telling me he's rooting for the Kings over the Warriors, so we'll see how that plays out.
Is that true? You're really going to root for the Kings over the Warriors?
No, fuck no. Of course not. I think I honestly, like, I was thinking about it today. Like, I think the Warriors are going to sweep the Kings.
Lucas, you think it's more likely it's a sweep or a 6 or 7 game series? So we'll eliminate a 5 game series. What's more likely, 6 or 7?
6 or 7. I would say it's more likely because it could be a 6 game series.
All right, 7 or 4.
I'd say it's more likely to be 4.
Okay, I'm hopping in here, taking for my third pick. I gotta go with defense. I think we're lacking some defense still, and I'm gonna take a player who is currently in the discussion for Defensive Player of the Year, also on my favorite team. I'm gonna take Evan Mobley here with my third pick.
What discussion is he in? Whose discussion?
I think Evan Mobley is like top 3. If you look up the odds, I'm looking up the odds for Defensive Player of the Year. Evan Mobley's in there. I swear.
You think he's top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Let's not forget who's number 1 here. Brook Lopez. You're gonna see it.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He is 6th currently.
Well, whatever. He's fire on defense. And you know what?
And Lucas, that's not true. JJJ is first.
All right, fine. I'm gonna put him
as the favorite, and Lopez is second.
I'm gonna put him at the 5.
Things have changed.
Evan Mobley.
Didn't we bet on this, Lucas, last episode?
What?
We bet on this, didn't we?
No, we bet $5 on who wins the depoy.
Okay, so as it stands, JJJ is minus 185. We go back to my team. Brook Lopez, who, as you, I believe, said is Caucasian, not Cuban, is plus 350.
That's easy money, bro.
Easy
We'll
money.
see.
You should smash
Easy
that.
money. Evan Mobley, though, really quickly, I want to just give my flowers to Evan Mobley. As a big guy who's really skinny and scrawny, he does have a humongous impact on the game. And what I think was most notable about him is defensively, he can guard 1 through 5. He's quick on the perimeter. He's an elite shot blocker. And I also think in a few years, his offensive game will blossom in a way where he won't just have to be the third option for the Cavs, and he actually could be like the number 2 next to Donovan.
All right, Anton, a few points here. Number 1, we're not doing this in a few years. We're doing this now when he does not play offense. And number 2, I don't think he can guard. You kind of just said he can guard 1 through 5.
He can guard 1 through 5.
A declarative statement.
Evan Mobley, I think, is.
Can he guard them well? You're putting Evan Mobley on John Morant.
I think Evan Mobley has the highest defensive win shares in the NBA.
Again, I'm gonna look this up.
Look it up, please. Pull it up.
All right.
Pull it up, Jamie.
I'm like Jamie. Pull it up, Jamie.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Evan Mobley, I think he's a great pick for the Cavs. I think he's also gonna be the cornerstone for them the next 5 years. And I think that if you're the Rockets, you're kind of kicking yourselves for not picking Evan Mobley when you had the chance. gonna swing it to you. Okay, Eli, can you pull up what his
I'll pull that up next. We can discuss later.
later? Eli, third pick.
My sleeper pick. Very happy he fell to this point in the draft. Great fit guy. We're talking about defense. Give me OG Anunoby.
OG.
That's small forward.
I do not know how to spell his last name.
Why don't you just say OG?
Anunoby.
Perfect.
There's no way that's right. But okay, someone else. I'm gonna fact check that. Go ahead.
This was a guy that the Grizzlies allegedly offered 3 first-round picks for, and their offer was declined. Perfect fit guy, elite perimeter defensive player, can shoot threes as well. Still only 25. I had thought he was older until I started researching for this exercise. I think he fits in great as a role player, as a wing defender on this team. Really, like, the only guy, I think him and Tatum are the only players here who I'm, like, comfortable guarding Luka or Ja or SGA and those type of people that we have on our roster.
Okay. Lucas, fourth pick is yours.
Eli, I'm just going to take him right now because you just mentioned that. Who offered 3 first-round picks for OG? Was it the Grizzlies?
It was.
The Grizzlies, I believe, offered 4.
Lucas, he is
first-round
26
picks.
years old.
Are you sure?
Oh no, we already knew what it was.
Let me check.
Fact checking.
Are you really
Quick question. What is our stance on possibly moving a player to a different position?
Fuck. Damn it.
You're allowed to, yeah.
Okay, sure.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Damn, bro. This throws a wrench in my system.
But I agree with you. I think Miles Bridges would have been the perfect player for this exercise because he fits everywhere.
Mikal Bridges.
Sorry.
Miles Bridges
is
a terrible
redacted from
person.
Please don't draft him.
Yeah, no, Mikal was my guy. I was really hoping he was gonna. I was like, oh shit, like he fell. Like this is gonna be great. I guess not. I have a question to ask. Can I ask this question? My question. What the fuck? No way. Is Jaylen Brown 31?
Jaylen Brown's 31.
No, he's probably 27.
I was about to say Jaylen Brown. This guy.
He's 26.
26. Okay, unfortunate as well. All right, whatever. I'm going to go with my first pick. Maybe I'm wrong about this too. Fuck.
Just pick
what
it.
if I was
Shot clock.
wrong?
10.
Bam Adebayo.
He is 25.
Bam Adebayo.
All right,
Where? At the 4?
great.
5?
He's my... Actually, I don't know.
I think,
out.
I
I'll
think
put
Bam
the
is a
five
great pick. I actually didn't realize
sure.
it until after I took Brandon Ingram that Bam is 25.
Yeah, I was...
No, I think that's a great pick.
Sorry, go ahead,
Great
Casey.
value there. Again, one of the best defensive players in the league. Dang.
I was thinking between Bam and Jaren with my second-round pick. Just because of the fit with Zion, though, I picked Jaren. But I think they're, in the same caliber. I think the 2 best centers you could take here. Anton, are you reevaluating your Mobley? You're really going to tell us Mobley's better than Bam right now?
Yes, he is. 100%. Who's higher in the depoy vote? Depoy vote. Who's higher?
Bam, he's third.
That's a false list. I am gonna call fake news. I'm calling fake news on that list. Respectfully, do not listen to Eli's sources. Okay. Good pick. Good pick, Lucas. Bam Adebayo. What is your 4th pick?
Yes. So everything kind of like is thrown off for me right now because I really kind of thought that Mikal Bridges was 25. So now I have another player that I want to select, but I'm also not sure if he's 25. Because you know what happens is I looked up NBA players under 25, and then Google shows you like every player in the NBA. Like I'm looking at Anthony Davis here, like
Well, because probably Google
Like
pulls
DeMontis
from like
Sabonis,
people's
like-
Bleach Report articles that are old.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So there's like a ton of stuff that I guess is just false news. So I will start off by saying that, oh shit, should I do it? Man, no, I'm not going to do it. Oh my God, I'm going to get clowned on so hard. Okay, if Miles Turner is 25 or under, I would like to select him.
I do not believe he
But I'm going
is.
to make sure.
He's 27.
He's 27.
Damn it.
All right, Lucas, the next time you name a player who is not
over 20, please. Over
25 or under,
Yeah.
we are going to automatically
me,
assign you Moses Moody as your filler player.
Oh,
Oh.
yo, that's terrible.
Oh, okay, fine. Because I'm blanking right now, I'm going to go ahead and take my sixth man. I'm going to take my
Fair.
sixth man.
Valid.
Are you ready? Trae Young.
Oh, okay. I think this is a good time. Good time to discuss Trae Young because
Is he 26?
the Trae is 25. So Trae Young this season not so hot. Hawks finished this year. Are they in the play-in? Are they like the 10th seed? Are they out? Let's see. Atlanta Hawks.
I think Hawks might.
The Hawks this year are the 8th seed, so they're gonna be in the play-in. They're gonna play the Heat. Or no, they're playing the Raptors. Or that's not. Wait, what? No, they're playing the Heat. The Heat. My bad. So the Hawks this year they traded for DeJounte Murray, who actually played pretty well this year. But the biggest thing with Trae Young is there's a lot of questions about his character and his leadership. Do you guys still think that Atlanta should try to build around Trae Young? Or is this another one of those, like, you got to just ride it out kind of things because you gave up Luka Doncic to get him?
I think it's another Zion situation where, like, either Trey is going to be good enough or he's not, but there's no point in, especially after they moved assets for DeJounte Murray, they can't, like, go full tank and rebuild, so they're kind of just stuck with it.
Okay. Trae Young. Lucas, you have any defense for Trae Young?
I think he is an elite playmaker and an elite scorer. And I think that as a sixth man, it's like, someone's got to, like, handle the scoring when John Morant and Shai Gilgeous are out. And I think that he is a fully capable player of doing that. I really don't think that he is capable of being the best player on a championship team. I think that we've seen that. But to select him in the 4th round of an under 25 draft to be your sixth man, I think he's like an incredible sixth man.
Fair enough. Eli?
All right, back to me. And I'm surprised he fell this far. I think he's one of the most talented people anyone could have taken here. He fits in great with my team. Tyrese Halliburton, the point guard.
Oh, God. Eli's going to win. All right, well, that's fine. Give him Tyrese Halliburton. Another one of those players. I think the Kings were in one of those kind of like Curry, Curry Ellis situations. They had to pick between two guards. They picked Fox, of course, and traded Tyrese Halliburton to the Pacers, who played pretty well this year. I don't know. Do you guys really think it's going to be worth it in the end? Because I don't know. I watched Tyrese Halliburton. I just don't know if he could ever be like even the second best. Could he be the second best player on a championship team? I don't know. Still don't know.
Absolutely. You know his stats, right? All right, I'm pulling up his stats right now.
Keep in mind he plays for the Pacers.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Oh, okay. You just drafted Trae Young and SGA. What, did they play for the number 1 seed?
They play for teams that are better than the Pacers.
Hey, yo.
Barely.
Okay, but Tyrese Halliburton is a great pick. I'm just going to go ahead and take my guy.
Tyrese is putting up 20 points and 10 assists this year.
I think Trae Young is also doing that too, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
That's
so
bullshit.
I'll say this. I had as my top tier of point guards, I had 4 point guards in my top tier, which were Ja, SGA, Tyrese Halliburton, and Trae. And I just want to say it's very funny that Lucas has 3 of them. Because right now, if I'm Casey, I'm kind of sweating because Casey's options at point guard are looking really thin. So I'm interested.
I think there's one left.
Jalen Suggs.
Okay, well, this next pick,
Jalen Suggs.
with this next pick, I'm going to make Casey very happy. I'm going to take Franz Wagner as my small forward. Casey, you know what? I'm going to let you talk about Franz. I only kind of seen some highlights here and there, but I think you're the kind of person who would know the most about it, so go ahead. Rant, give us your take on
Franz
Franz.
as a second-year player has improved his efficiency a lot from his rookie year. It's tough also playing alongside a ball-dominant guy like Paolo coming in as the number 1 option. But Franz is great at what he does. I think he averaged like 19 points per game this season on pretty good efficiency. There's an argument that he's the best player in his class. Right now it's really him and Evan Mobley. Really talented guy. He's also very switchable on defense. Not going to be like a high-level defender, but he's not going to be targeted for the most part.
Excellent. Excellent analysis from Casey Chang. Swinging it back to Casey, actually, for the fourth pick. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is interesting because I have a few positions that I need filling. Yeah, let's see, with my fourth round pick, yeah, I'm not sweating about point guard. Give me De'Aaron Fox.
That's who I thought. That's the last one I had on my board, De'Aaron Fox.
Good pick. Good
Oh,
pick.
see, I have someone above De'Aaron Fox who I might take.
Is De'Aaron with only
You'll see.
1A? I think it's only 1A. Is that right? Is it 2 A's? I think it's 2 A's. De'Aaron Fox. I remember watching his highlights in high school. That dude was a hooper for sure. So I'm glad that they gave him a chance in San Antonio. Sorry, not San Antonio. In Sacramento. Kings this year. Could they possibly get out of the first round? Or do you think it's going to be a one and done for them?
Come on now.
No. What? You know who you're talking to right now?
Oh, wait, are they playing the Warriors first round?
Ain't no
They're playing
way.
the Warriors.
Oh.
Ain't no fucking way. Well, I saw the odds. The Warriors are minus 260
As a 6
in the first round. As a
That's
60.
disaster.
Yeah, okay.
The real question is if Warriors fans are going to be in that arena. Because normally the Kings have a very good home crowd.
Yes.
But there are a lot of Warriors fans in Sacramento.
And there's rich Warriors fans that are going to make the trip. And I am thinking about becoming one of them. Oh my god.
Wow. Very impressive.
It's like 300. I think it might be like $300 or $400.
In
I
Sacramento?
might fucking do it.
Good Lord.
Because then that'd be sick. The cheapest tickets I saw were like for the game that was Warriors Kings, that was like to get to the playoffs. The cheapest tickets were like $250.
I'm gonna be
And
a
a big
And
shout out
regular
to For
season.
Hims for sponsoring this podcast
Yes.
and giving Lucas the money for that ticket.
Thank you for
Yeah.
his.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in New York City from April 18th to the 23rd. So if any of their, so I might be in New York when the Cavs played the Knicks. So I might actually
Bing bong.
So
Bing
I
bong.
might actually might ball out and pay to watch the Cavs lose in Madison Square Garden. Anyhow,
Dude, I cannot wait for Julius Randle to drop a 45 piece on your Defensive Player of the Year candidate, Evan Mobley.
I'm actually more worried about Star J. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so quickly before we get into the last few rounds here, I'm gonna go over all the teams. Casey at his point guard, De'Aaron Fox, shooting guard Anthony Edwards, small forward JT, Jason Tatum, and at his power forward Brandon Ingram. My team, I have Luka Doncic, Cade Cunningham, Franz Wagner, and Evan Mobley. Eli, Tyrese Halliburton, OG Anunoby, Zion, and Jaren Jackson Jr. Lucas, John Morant, SGA, Bam Adebayo, and Trae Young. I don't know what's more of a nightmare blunt rotation, my team or Lucas's. I'm just looking at Lucas's team. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. I don't even want to think about
I think Lucas's team. I mean, we'll get to it when you
Casey
match
and
us,
Eli
man.
are the only two guys
very
with, like-
interested in how it's going to play out.
You two are the only team with actually cohesive teams right now. I'm just like looking at I'm like, oh god. But I don't know. Lucas somehow, is he doing it better than me? Who knows? Casey with the fifth pick.
Fifth pick, I'm actually
is
going
yours.
to take a sixth man here. Give me Darius Garland.
Okay. Oh yeah, great pick.
So that's who I had as my point guard ahead of
Interesting.
De'Aaron Fox.
Over De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah, over De'Aaron Fox.
The only thing with Darius, as someone who watches a lot of Darius, he turns the ball over a lot. I don't think he's not that good in transition, weirdly, and around the rim he's actually very shaky, and defensively also a bit of a very big mismatch. So De'Aaron, though, he's a good finisher. He's the swiper, as we all know, and he also just has more size. Darius is very undersized. So, I mean, why do you have him above De'Aaron? Eli.
I just think he fits in a lot better. Like, think about what it took for Fox to be good this year. Mm-hmm. Like, they really had to trade away Tyrese Halliburton, who was now like a top 3 point guard prospect in the NBA, just to be able to give Fox the keys and have him figure it out. Right? Couldn't play against another guard. Has to run like a transition only offense that doesn't play any defense. Versus, right, Garland, who emerged as like an all NBA type player, and then now is fitting in again with another guard in Donovan Mitchell. I think it comes back to him being willing to pass and him being a great shooter. So those two things I think fit in better with an exercise like this, where you're around a lot of other good players. I just don't think De'Aaron Fox is going to be able to do as much surrounded by good players, needing to play defense to be able to secure that spot in the rotation. Because I think Coach Chang is going to be benching him for Darius a few games into the season, man. I think they're going to do a little swap. bring De'Aaron off the bench when he'd cook a little more.
Okay, that's a good point. Can I propose something right now? Can I move one of my players to my sixth man and draft someone else at that position?
Sure.
Okay. I am going to move Cade Cunningham to my sixth man, and I'm going to be drafting Desmond Bane here.
Fuck!
Desmond Bane.
I needed Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane, I don't know. If you watch the Grizzlies without Ja, he's the one running the show. And that guy can shoot, like 100%. Like in transition, it's like from anywhere, he just launches. Pretty scary player. I'm impressed how he emerged from nowhere. He's one of those players that's like, wait, who? Where did he play? I guess if you're really in the know, you would know that Desmond Bane is nice with it. But I took him here, and I felt like he might have been the only shooting guard or someone who could come off my bench who could shoot and play some defense. He's pretty big, too. And he was also really good on the JJ Redick podcast. So shout out Desmond Bane. Or Eli or Casey, you guys reacted pretty strongly to that. Any thoughts?
Great pick, man. I wanted Desmond Bane. He was going to fit in perfectly in my last spot. So good job there.
Thank you. I might have saved the draft. Low-key might have saved the draft. Okay. Swinging it to you, Eli.
So now I'm in a bit of a tough spot where I need shooting out of this position. And I don't want someone, though, who can get attacked defensively.
Okay.
So I am going to think more about shooting guard. But in the interim, going to take as my sixth man, Paolo Banchero.
Paolo.
Casey, I'll give it to you, man. Would you trade Paolo right now straight up for Evan Mobley, yes or no?
Oh, my goodness.
No.
Anton, be prepared to rebut.
Yeah. What?
Look,
you wouldn't do it?
The thing is, right now, with
that you
the Magic, what they need is a number one scorer, and that's exactly what Paolo has brought. You put Evan Mobley on the Magic in place of Paolo, they're probably a bottom 2, bottom 3 team in the league instead of a bottom 6 team.
Okay, that's valid. But I think my thing with Paolo is that, do you think that he kind of just took people by surprise this year by his size and his quickness, and that maybe next year people will be
people
ready
have
for him?
been ready. Like
Or do you think
after the first 10 games, like other teams' game plan was stop Paolo, and it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear if you were to watch the games. Like teams are consistently sending doubles at him. I'm not going to get into Rookie of the Year conversation here, but the other guys up there, they aren't really getting doubled like him.
Fair enough. Lucas, with your last two picks to round out this incredible team he's built, Ja Morant, SGA, Bam Adebayo, Trae Young, who are the last two pieces to make this puzzle complete?
So here is the best pick in the draft, I think.
Bold.
It's the only pick, and I was really hoping no one was going to take him. This is the only pick that could have possibly saved my team, and luckily it did come all the way here. I think I might even play him at the 3. I don't know. Like, he's kind of him in that way. I'm going to take Michael Porter Jr.
My God.
Yeah.
Michael, really?
I was thinking about it, but...
Which is, like, a crazy pick. His season that he had before he signed that huge contract was, like, insane. Like, this guy shoots, like, 42% from 3. He's, like, a very good defender. And he's, like, 6'10"?
He's
6'10"? Playing on the wing? Like, wow, this guy's crazy. And when you watch him in the game, it is so hard to guard this dude. Like, he like, mid-range pull-ups, finishes around the rim, he shoots threes. Like, he's just really fucking good. Like, I believe that Michael Porter Jr. is a huge reason why the Nuggets are the 1 seed this year. So I'm very happy that he came
Nice.
to me right here. And now I'm probably going to fuck it all up right now. I'm
Go
going to
ahead,
fuck it
go
all
ahead.
up right now because I don't have that many people that I'm thinking about, and I need defense. And I think that my team could be a good defensive front court and a good defensive like wing defending team if I take Scotty Barnes. So I'm taking Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes.
Ooh.
I want to talk real quick about MPJ real quick. I wish the Cavs had taken him instead of Isaac Okoro. That's last thought. Scotty Barnes, though, bit of a regression this season, though. I feel like there's a conversation about how his game kind of... Like, he's not making as many threes, right? He's shooting, 20% from 3 this year. But I feel like the Raptors are now in a position where they might just blow it all up and keep only Scotty Barnes.
I mean, under any other circumstance, Lucas, I would say that he cannot play offense. But I think you needed that here. Now, there's someone I would have taken if I were you that remind me of this because I don't
know
want
who that is.
Casey to take him. So remind me of this. Once Casey doesn't take him, I'll
Okay.
tell you who should have taken. But as it stands, between Ja, MPJ, Trae Young, like you needed just like anyone who could play defense. So I get going Scotty
Yeah.
Barnes here.
Yeah, that's kind of my philosophy. I just felt like there's enough scoring to go around. And like even with Bam, because Bam is a capable scorer, like, you know, in the paint, even in the mid-range. And I have John Morant, Shai Gilgeous, and Trey is going to be coming off the bench. Like, I don't need a scoring power forward here. Like, I just don't. So I just need someone who's good at defense. It's like, all right.
Same thing for me here with my next pick. I have enough offense. I'm running Tyrese pick and roll with Zion handling the ball too, Jaren Jackson.
Yes, I forgot.
I know. So I just need defense here. I need a wing stopper who can shoot some threes. Again, one of the only guys in this exercise who can truly guard Luka, Fox, John Morant. Give me Lou Dort.
Oh, Lugens Dort. That is a legendary pick.
Give me Lou Dort.
How do you? Is it just Lou Dort?
LU.
Lou Dort is a fake NBA player. This guy is not fucking real.
I don't know.
Bro, no, I truly don't believe in Lou Dort. Like the way that I don't know. I like people say he's good, right? Lou Dort is supposed to be good. He signed a big contract or whatever. He's the torture chamber. He's good at
Lucas,
defense.
he's going to put
I
SGA
watch
in the
him.
torture chamber.
I watch him. When I watch him play, right? I'm watching the Warriors play the Thunder. It happens all the time. And when this happens, it's Lou Dort against Steph Curry. Lou Dort has never locked down Steph Curry. He's not even gotten fucking close. He looks like he's like on another planet.
You know what,
out there.
Lucas? No one guards Steph
Even
Curry.
Marcus Smart, D-point.
And Steph is a little.
So, but is he gonna guard Luka Doncic?
Yeah, so that's
is
the
he gonna
thing.
guard John Morant?
Lucas,
No.
Hear me out. I don't know. I'm not sure he can guard John Morant, but Dort's a little thicker. He made his name right guarding Harden that one playoff series. Put him in the torture chamber. He's absolutely doing a good job against his teammate SGA, against Luka, against Anthony Edwards, against Desmond Bain. These like kind of bigger guys, more of a wing than a point guard. He's absolutely playing excellent defense. Again, one of the guys, to quote Anton, in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. Is he going to win it? No, but he certainly is one of the best wing defenders in the NBA.
I think it's a good pick.
Lukas Dort
He's one of
does
those
not
players that
exist.
kind of disappeared. I feel like he might have been like one of those. What was his name? Andre Roberson. He's one of those kind of like all defense, no offense. I think it's kind of hard to play with those kind of guys. Think Isaac Okoro.
Well, here's my question.
Go ahead.
I could have right here taken Tyler Hero, Jordan Poole, Tyrese Maxey, but instead I went defense. What's your guys' take there on going defense over offense at this position?
I think it's fine. I think you have Tyrese and Zion. So I think the ball's going to move plenty enough. I don't think you needed another mouth to feed. And I feel like most things going to run through Zion, so I don't think it matters.
I'm going to disagree with that. And, you know, if we end up matching up, Eli, I really do think that the only thing you don't have going for you is a fill up the numbers score. You really just don't have that. I think Halliburton, 20 points a game, like that's solid, you know, but in the NBA today, 20 points a game is like the third best scorer on a team.
No?
Lucas, Zion puts up 30 points a game.
Zion has never put up 30 points a game. I think he puts up 27, maybe. And he just, you know, I'm not going to bring up injuries because we're not talking about injuries here. But if if I just counted up the point totals from these guys and then expanded to a team that is has a 10-man rotation or whatever, I think that your team would probably be scoring like 90 points a game.
I think
Obviously, you know, you're going to have more. More is going to happen because you know, these are the players who are on the court. But if you just look at like Lou Dort's numbers per the entire game, what is he getting, like 10 points a game? OG's getting like
because Lucas, you don't
15
believe in
points a game.
drafting role players. Your entire team can't play with each other.
another.
I'm aware, but I feel like you have too many role players. You don't have anyone who's like going to drop a bunch of points.
Here's
Zion.
the
scoring.
argument I think for Eli is he has OG and Jaren Jackson Jr. who can space the floor, which makes it so that like someone you can't really clog the paint for Zion anymore. So it's gonna be like Zion versus Scotty Barnes straight up. You know, it's gonna be one of Scotty versus Bam Adebayo.
Barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken, exactly. Zion can go.
Bam Adebayo ain't no barbecue chicken.
Bam is the honest stopper. I'll say
Adebayo.
this. I'll say this right here, right now.
He's the best player to match up against
Back
Zion
in
Williamson, probably in the
2020,
league.
back in 2020,
Maybe Giannis.
it was the COVID pandemic. We were in my backyard. Eli, way before the bubble had restarted and the NBA season had started, he said Bam Adebayo. We were doing a draft kind of like this. And Eli goes, Bam Adebayo is the Giannis stopper. We're all like, shut up, Eli, that's cap. Who the hell's Bam Adebayo? And he was like, Bam Adebayo's the Giannis stopper. And then lo and behold, in the playoffs, the Heat beat the Bucks, and the reason was because Bam Adebayo was the Giannis stopper. So I think we'll just leave it there. At that, I'm just gonna go ahead and step in. We're gonna take my pick right now. I'm gonna move some guys here. I'm moving Evan Mobley to the 4 so I can take my guy Jarrett Allen at number 5. The reason why I'm taking this is because number 1, I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. Number 2, those two are the reason why we have the best defense in the whole league. That's the reason why. It's because we have 2 guys you can funnel all of the players into, and Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley can also play on the perimeter just a little bit. Jarrett Allen, not as much as Evan Mobley, of course, but Evan Mobley contests the most threes this year, I believe. And if I want to stop Zion, I think I need to have those 2 guys, just have some bruisers. And I don't really need anyone to shoot necessarily because I have Luka, Desmond, and Franz. So I'm going way defense here, but I think this team is looking pretty solid here with Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley anchoring my defense. Casey with the last pick.
Yeah, real quick, I just wanted to say something to Eli. I thought you were going to go Maxey there. That's the pick I thought you were going to go with. And then Anton, when you said you're switching Mobley to the 4, I thought you were going to take Ayton.
Nah, I don't want DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton said that when he first started playing for the Suns, he said, I'm just playing to get my second contract. And that's not what Kobe would have said. So he doesn't have that dog in him. I don't want DeAndre Ayton. He's kind of soft.
I mean, you could argue Kobe had a little too much of that dog.
Oh.
At times.
No. Okay, moving on. Casey, please.
No, I just think, that mentality, what I was referencing there is that he could have been, that mentality rubs off on your teammates the wrong way. Versus
okay.
Versus Ayton, who is able to, play really well with his teammate.
This is true. He wasn't calling anyone Charmin during practice. Rest in peace, Jeremy Lin.
Anyway,
okay,
with my final pick, gotta have a little bit of defense on my team, I guess. I want to take Nick Claxton.
Nick Claxton.
All right.
Jinx.
I know who you should have taken ahead of Nick Claxton. Lucas, I know who you should have taken ahead of Scotty Barnes. Still on the board, but now officially a perpetual free agent.
Eli, before you do that, actually, just go ahead. Go ahead. Who is it?
Robert Williams.
Oh, yeah, Time Lord.
Oh, is he under
Time Lord
25?
Is
Time
the
Lord.
best.
Damn.
Was he not like the best defensive player in the playoffs last year besides maybe Draymond?
He's
He
hella
really
good.
is, yeah.
He's hella good.
As someone who watched a lot of Celtics games because my roommate Justin is a Celtics fan, his ascension in the last 3 years has been incredible. Like when he was one of those guys who just 12th man, only come in when there's garbage time. That dude was athletic as hell. And the only problem is that his injuries, of course, is the number one thing with Rob. But yeah, that's actually a sleeper. I totally forgot about him. Just in summation, real quick, Casey, De'Aaron Fox, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Brandon Ingram, Nick Claxton, Darius Garland coming off the bench. My team, Luka Doncic, Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, Cade Cunningham coming off the bench. Eli, Tyrese Halliburton, Lou Dort, OG Anunoby, Zion Williamson, Jaren Jackson Jr. with Paolo Banchero as his sixth man, and Lucas, John Morant, SGA, Michael Porter Jr., Scotty Barnes, Bam Adebayo with the legend, Trae Young coming off the bench. I feel like we don't have enough time to do a quick head-to-head, but I feel like this is a very successful draft overall. I think this is a very good draft. Any final thoughts from anybody?
Can we take a quick break?
Let's take a quick break. Okay, welcome back. We've decided that we're going to do head-to-head very quickly, but we have some scoring rules because we don't want to get into a situation where we're just tied. One person, we can't decide who wins. So, Eli, can you quickly explain the scoring system?
So each judge is just going to say how many games the team that they think would win out of 10. So let's say I'm judging, I think Team A is better than Team B. I'm going to say Team A is going to win 8 out of 10 times if they played each other. That way we have some sort of tiebreaker, so because we have two judges judging each matchup, and we don't get a situation where they just vote for different people and then we're stuck.
Okay, great. So with that being said, first matchup, Casey Chang versus Lucas Watkins. Head-to-head, De'Aaron Fox, John Morant. Anthony Edwards, SGA, JT, Michael Porter Jr., Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, Nick Claxton, Bam Adebayo. Floor is yours. Lucas, I'm going to give you 1 minute to make your case.
Yeah, my case is that my team has enough defense to stop his scorers. He's got Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, and Brandon Ingram. I've got Michael Porter, Scotty Barnes, and Bam Adebayo holding it down low. And I don't think that he has enough defense to stop my scorers. I think that with John Morant and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who does he have? He's got De'Aaron Fox, Anthony Edwards matching up against them. These guys just aren't very good defenders. I feel like it's going to be a lot easier for my team to score than it is his. And I feel like, over a course of a 10-game series, my team is just going to come out on
I think
top.
it's interesting that Lucas brings up defense because I actually think defense is one of the weaker parts of his team. No one's stopping Jason Tatum. Like, don't even kid yourself. Honestly, yeah, I can't even say anything too strong about the defense of my team. But bro, tell me this team's not putting up 160 points a game.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I guess they made their cases. My first impression is I'm looking at that Jason Tatum, Michael Porter Jr., and Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes. I feel like Brandon Ingram's gonna cook against Scotty Barnes, and then I just don't really know how John Morant and SGA work together. Eli, what about you?
Yeah, I think Lucas might have, if we ranked the players under 25, Lucas might have the highest ranked people, but this roster construction is perplexing me at the moment.
Perplexing.
Compare that to Casey, though. Like Fox and Claxton are just not that good, even if they fit in with the rest of your team. So I'm not sure how exactly that compares to Lucas's high talent.
But Jason Tatum is still, top 3, top 5 player in the NBA.
Well, he's only 19.
That's true. Think about the potential.
Anthony, I don't know how you're saying that Brandon Ingram cooks Scotty Barnes. I feel like Scotty Barnes is a very good matchup for.
I think
Brandon Ingram.
size-wise, yes, but I think Brandon Ingram's just quicker, and I don't know how good Scotty Barnes is on the perimeter. I'm being totally honest. So, anyhow,
It's not just about size; it's also about movement. And I think when you think about it from that perspective, Ingram can kind of go around Scotty Barnes.
Well, if it's about size and movement, can you talk about is there anything to do with girth or length?
yeah, there is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's something to be said about thickness and wingspan. I'm gonna go ahead and just give my number. I think in this situation, Casey wins 7 out of 10 times.
I had Casey 6 out of 10.
Okay, so Casey's gonna win. Lucas, unfortunately, eliminated. Now it's my team and Eli's head-to-head. Luka Doncic, Tyrese Halliburton, Desmond Bane, Lou Dort, Franz Wagner, OG Anunoby, Evan Mobley Zion, Jared Allen, Jaren Jackson Jr., and off the bench, Cade Cunningham and Paolo Banchero. Eli, I'll let you go first because I'm the host.
Thank you. There is no one on my team who you can really score against very easily.
Zion.
Maybe Tyrese Halliburton is the weakest defender. He still is about average to above average defender. And we're putting him on Desmond Bane, who can't even create his own shot. Everyone else can lock them up. Lou Dort is doing as good as anyone can do locking up Luka Doncic. You saw that playoff series where he clamped James Harden. And what is Luka Doncic if not just a marginally worse James Harden? OG on Franz Wagner? Lock that up. Zion guarding Mobley, who Mobley can't even play offense. So what are we talking about here? And Jared Allen is getting locked up by Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, when it comes to offense, I get that I don't have that many what would appear to be dominant scorers, but Zion is going to Zion. No one in the league can guard him. Not Mobley, not Jared Allen. He's going off. Last time he played a full healthy season, he put up 27 points per game on 65% shooting. And remember, he's healthy for just one series. Run the Halliburton pick and roll with him. Put Jackson out on the top of the perimeter, chucking threes. It's a wrap.
Luka Doncic may be a marginally worse version of James Harden. Let's not forget about how good James Harden was at the time, though. James Harden was single-handedly the engine of a team that almost beat the greatest regular season team of all time, the 2017 Warriors. Okay, let's not forget about that. It took an 0-27 stretch for them to lose. I think Zion's actually the person that I think will ruin your defense because he's just not very intelligent on the defensive end. He just doesn't really know where to go. He's not a real rim protector either, and I think he's just a little slow-footed on the defensive end. Franz, can't really speak too much about his game, to be honest. But I know that Desmond Bain.
Franz is not putting up any buckets on OG Anunoby. I'm sorry,
Desmond Bain,
Casey.
though, I will push back on the idea that Desmond Bain cannot create his own shot. I think that's actually the thing that's that's actually why the Memphis has been as good as they have been without Ja last couple of years. So all in all, don't forget they have Luka Doncic, who is that nuclear weapon I have on my team. He can create. Defensively, of course, is a problem. Don't know how he's going to guard Tyrese Halliburton. Totally honest with that. But Evan Mobley and Jared Allen are a defensive battery that cannot be messed with. That's it. Casey and Lucas, what do you think?
If you want to, I'll go first, Casey. I'll let you be the hammer on this. So I think that this is a very interesting matchup because both teams have good perimeter defense for sure, and I think it's going to be really hard for both of these teams to penetrate. Not trying to be weird about that, but that's for real. Like, I just don't think that penetration is possible here. So I think that this game kind of comes down to the perimeter in terms of shooting, and I think that Eli has an advantage there with Jaren Jackson, and both Jaren and Zion can space out a bit. And OG is a good shooter.
Zion cannot space.
But then, no, I mean a little bit. Like, he can shoot a three every once in a while. You know, I'm just saying, like, Mobley and Allen.
Mobley and Allen just don't really play any offense. The only reason that team has any offense is because
Evan Mobley can play offense.
Objection. Whatever. But on the other side, Anton does have the nuclear weapon that is Luka Doncic. You know, because I feel like this is a really good defensive matchup. This is kind of a low scoring matchup in my opinion. But if Luka comes out every once in a while and he drops 50 fucking points, I feel like he could win this game. So, with that being said, I'm going to say that Eli wins 6 out of 10 games.
Interesting. Casey?
Yeah. Okay. Something that I think Eli did really well in this draft that is something I would incorporate into like my future draft strategy if we were to do this again, is really drafting a team that works well with each other. I don't know. Like, I'm a big fan of Tyrese Halliburton, and I think, yeah, you put Tyrese and you put Zion on the same team, that's a deadly combo right there. Luka on Anton's side, you know, he could go and drop a 30-point, 35-point triple double. You got Mobley and Allen, great defense in the paint. But at the end of the day, I got to give it to Eli. Also, winning 6 out of 10 games.
Interesting. So Eli comes out with 12, I think 12 total wins out of that. So now it's head to head. Casey and Eli. This is really interesting. So De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, Lou Dort, JT, OG Anunoby, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Nick Claxton, Jaren Jackson Jr., Darius, and Paolo Banchero. Do you guys want to try to give like a quick like little spiel about why your side is the one? I'm gonna give it.
I'm just gonna repeat what I said. Talking with the initial matchup against Lucas. I mean, with my team, it really is very offense oriented, which could be a weakness. But come on, bro, this team is literally going to put up 160 points per game. Like, you're not stopping Jason Tatum, Brandon Ingram, and Anthony Edwards. Like, I don't care if you have Lou Dort. Come on, man.
Lou Dort and OG actually can stop them. Like, those are actually, if anyone in the league can do it, it's those two. And I have a question for you. Sorry, go ahead, Lucas.
I just want to know who Lou Dort is guarding.
I will put Lou Dort on Anthony Edwards. Lou Dort on Edwards, OG on Tatum. And look, if it's Zion against Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, it's cookies.
You guys have seen a picture of Brandon Ingram before, right?
Yeah.
Zion Williamson is literally going to run him over on every single possession. Foul.
Okay, Casey, who's guarding Zion?
Honestly, you know, I think to guard Zion, you got to put, you know, a small pesky player like Darius Garland out there. You know, draw some offensive fouls, get Zion in foul trouble. You know, three in the first quarter. Exactly.
6 foot, 160.
He's like that video of that kid in when Zion was in high school. There was like that 5'4" white kid guarding him. He's clapping in front of Zion's face and everything. Okay, I'm just gonna go. Casey, while I hear your side on the offensive stuff, I really do worry about your defense. I know Jason Tatum, he is an important part of the Celtics defense, which is very good. But Anthony Edwards and De'Aaron Fox, that's going to be a problem. And I see like Jason Tatum and also I don't really know if Nick Claxton's like really an elite rim protector who could help stop Zion or at least slow him down a little bit. But Jaren Jackson Jr., as we know, is that guy. He is going to be the depoy, and he can space the floor. So I'm gonna give it to Eli 7 out of 10. Lucas?
Yeah, I kind of also see, unfortunately, too many defensive liabilities on Casey's team. With like, I even think Jaren Jackson could be a important scorer on this if like you're using all your defense on Zion down low. Like if you have a guy who can shoot,
you pull him out,
and Eli does have a little shooting. So yeah, I also like Eli here. I'll also go with 7.
Well, that does it. So for the first ever under 25 draft, Eli Tannehill comes out on top. His final roster: Tyrese Halliburton, Lou Dort, OG Anunoby, Zion Williamson, Jaren Jackson Jr. with Paolo Banchero coming off the bench. That is going to do it for us here at Draw the Line. Thank you so much to Casey, Lucas, and Eli for joining me today. We hope you have a good one.